Hey, what's up, guys? Houston here. I want you to take a walk with me right quick while I explain to you why most people miss the mark of trying to get $50,000 from a credit union. All right. First off, most people, when they join a credit union, they automatically start trying to apply right away, right? And especially with bad credit, you don't want to do that. If you're going to apply right away, you make sure that you have at least a 740. If you don't have at least a 740, then I would not be trying to apply, okay? And another mistake that people are doing is they may be choosing the wrong credit union, all right? And so where a lot of people, they're trying to go to Navy Federal, they're trying to go to Penn Fed. Now, the reality of it, those may not be your best options, all right? Especially when you're trying to get $50,000 off back. So let me explain to you, all right? Sorry about that. Here's the situation. When you're trying to join a credit union, all right, you want to look for one. Now, as I was saying, okay, because people in the elevator, I want them into my conversation. As I was saying, a lot of people, they're going to Penn Fed and Navy Federal, right? And they're thinking that, oh, that's the best option for me. However, that may not be the best option, and I'll explain to you. Here's the thing about it. With Navy Federal, yeah, if you have multiple accounts with a 580, yes. Yeah, they'll show you some love. However, the thing about it, Navy Federal does not offer a line of credit, just like Penn Fed does not offer a line of credit. You want to look for a credit union that actually offers you a credit card plus a line of credit plus a loan, all right? That's the key. And for most people, they're going in, they're just joining any credit union, and all credit unions are not the same. And the list of credit unions I'm talking about, they have even a bigger benefit than Navy Federal and Penn Fed, all right? So why don't I explain to you, all right? So if you go to Penn Fed, right, and you building up a relationship, that's another thing. You're building up a relationship, then over, I would say, 60 days, 90 days, and you're making small deposit, opening up a checking and a savings account, then of course they're willing to show you some love. And it also depends on your income, right? Your income and how much is your what do you call it, your rent or your mortgage payment. And I always tell people, when you're trying to go for funding, you never want your rent or mortgage payment to be over 15% of your household income, okay? So your total household income, that's the reason why a lot of people, they get the small amounts, right? Now, that being said, the credit unions that I'm more favorable of, so that you all can take this into consideration as well, is like with Truliant, okay? So with Truliant Credit Union, they pull Equifax, right? So by them pulling Equifax, here's the thing about it. They offer the loans for 90 days. As a matter of fact, all these credit unions that I'm telling you, they actually give you a loan, all right? And you don't have to make a payment for the first 90 days. This is where the leveraging really comes in at. So when you're going after a credit card, when you're going after a line of credit, you're going after a loan, you want to see if they offer the loan with no payments for at least 90 days. I was looking at a video, lady like, well, I work for Penn Fed, and you have to build a relationship with them. And this is something I had been continuing to tell people. Do not just jump in there, especially when you have a low credit score. All right, you're going to be very disappointed because they don't have a relationship with you. You don't have no accounts with them. So you cannot expect for them to, off the back, expecting $50,000. And in terms of expecting the $50,000, the main thing is that not trying to get it in one product. You want to get it into 3 type of products, okay? The credit cards, the line of credit, and the loan, all right? That's the why. It's a strategy in terms of saying, get $50,000. Yes, you can get $50,000. However, you don't want it in all in one product. All right. That being said, talking about some other credit unions, like you have Liberty. All right. So with Liberty Credit Union, they pull TransUnion. I found out about this swimming pool, right? And I was wondering why these people are in the swimming pool and it's cold outside. Well, come to find out, they said that the swimming pool gets up to 84 degrees. So that's the reason why they're in the swimming pool. And so that was interesting to me because as a black guy, us black folks, cold water in the wintertime outside, no, it ain't for us. However, like I said, they stated that swimming pool gets up to 84 degrees. Now, going back to Liberty, using TransUnion, again, going for a line of credit, a credit card, and a loan because of that 90-day period. Now, the next credit union we want to talk about is with Johns Hopkins Credit Union. All right, so Johns Hopkins also gives you that 90-day loan, okay, plus the credit card, plus the line of credit. Like I said, it's all about strategy. Now, here's a hack that I would definitely tell you all to do. All right, and I'll continue to tell you, look, if you have real bad credit, there's a couple things you want to do while you in that relationship phase in that first 90 days with a credit union. You want to see, can you get a loan that does not report on your personal credit, okay? So the reason is, if you can get a loan that does not report, maybe $5,000-$10,000 loan, just depends on what type of asset you're using. Like if it's your personal credit, you have bad credit, then you're gonna have to use the platforms for like your tribal lenders and stuff like that to get this type of loan, all right? But you use that loan to actually pay down some of your open revolving debt, even if it's a now here's something, if it's a charge off and it has a zero balance on it, that charge off is not going to affect your credit. This is something else that a lot of people are not aware of. They're worried about charge offs with a zero balance. Those charge offs are not calculated into your credit score because there's no balance to calculate, okay? Now, depends on how old that charge off. So like you may have a 6-month-old charge off, right? However, and it just went to a zero balance or whatever within the past 6 months, then it actually takes at least another 6 to 9 months for that not to calculate it, because you have all of that old time on the credit file. All right, so that's something you have to also consider. Now, another leveraging thing that you can do, again, within that 90 days, is also go start disputing all the negative items, like starting with Credit Karma, doing your disputes with your TransUnion and your Equifax, right? And so by you doing that, what you're doing is within 48 to 72 hours, you would see on your Vantage score increase. This is also something that's confusing because people would think, well, oh, my Credit Karma is telling me I have like a 700, but you have to keep in mind that's a Vantage score. That's not a FICO score. So you have to actually understand which institutions that will actually use that Vantage score in order to give you that leverage using that credit score, all right, credit score model, I should say. Now, you also have State Department Federal Credit Union. Now, State Department Federal Credit Union, for some people, they don't like it. The thing about it, again, it's all about you building a relationship, especially when you have bad credit. Do not expect for any institution other than your third-party institutions and fintechs to really give you a significant amount of money when you have bad credit. State Department, again, they use Experian Mortgage to credit score, right? And so they're going to give you the loan for 90 days, no payments, line of credit, and the credit card. But the main point about it is just making sure you guys do not just go for one product. That's the main thing. Do not go for one product. Make sure that you're going for multiple products. That's the reason why it's better to use those credit unions versus just trying to go to a bank and assuming that they will give you